Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is O-Sheena. I am going to be sharing all of the books that I want to read this fall. So this is going to be a fall TBR video and I'm excited to share these books with you. This is going to just be like a pile of possibilities. I saw Amanda from Book Lover Amanda do a big pile of possibilities and it just kind of inspired me because yeah, like there's not really... It's not likely I'll read all of these books, but still, this is just like the collection that I want to be choosing from this fall. If you watched my September TBR, I am trying to prioritize reading my Bible over reading fiction, and not that I don't want to read fiction at all, like absolutely I still want to read. God is really just, he speaks to my heart in so many different ways, and one of the ways is through fiction, Christian fiction usually, and so it's okay that I still want to read, but I've just felt the lack in me of not reading my Bible enough. So the Bible is the priority, but then there are some other books that I would like to read this fall and I want to share them with you. So I'm gonna go just kind of random. I don't have like a certain order that I want to read these in. I'm just gonna share all these books. If there's any book in particular that you think is a great read for this fall, I'd love to know. And I probably will be mixing up using the library and reading my physical TBR. This is my TBR shelf. So, you know, I'd love to read all of these books, but let's be realistic here, okay? Okay, so I'm not gonna repeat the books that were on my September TBR. Obviously, I want to read them this month, so they're already on the fall TBR. Just include all of those now. Okay, the first book that is on my TBR is Okay, the first book is Fragments of Fear by Carrie Stuart Parks. This is a library book. I don't know if I'll read it before I have to return it, but I can always request it again. This author though, seriously, I want to read this author. Tell me if you like this book. I've heard really good things. A couple people that I follow enjoy her books. I think she writes like romantic suspense. Okay. Frank Peretti blurbed the back. Carrie has mastered forensic art, fine art, and her own brand of offbeat humor. Okay. Great. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least it's a small book, you know? Okay, next book is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I want to try to read a thriller every fall, just because, you know? And I have been doing that. I have like a couple of videos actually of different thriller reviews and stuff on my channel, so I'll link those down below. I have read a couple books by Ruth Ware already. The cover is really ominous, and I've heard really good things about this book in particular, so yeah. The other thriller though is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I have heard good things about this one too, actually mixed things, but still, I have really enjoyed both books by Riley Sager that I've read, and I just like his writing a lot, so I'm just willing to try this book. The other one, Survive the Night. I've heard really bad things about that book, and I have a feeling I wouldn't like it, so I don't think I want to even try that one. But The House Across the Lake, I do think I might like. So I'm gonna give it a try, I think. I do plan to. I've already requested it, but there's like 100 holds. 100 holds on like 50 copies. So like, I should be like 2 away, you know? Okay, next book is Sorcerer. Look at this book. This does not look like an O-Sheena book at all. It is like shiny and there's like a snake on it and there's like ancient Egyptian something on it. I don't know. But it's by James Bryan Huggins, called Sorcerer, and it just sounds really good, I gotta say. So it follows ex-detective Michael Thorne. He's retired from the police force and he's looking forward to a normal life of PTA. PTA? Parent teacher, right? His new home in rural New England has many strange stories surrounding it, like the mysterious fate of the former occupants. But those are just rumors, right? Then he finds a skeleton in his basement and it mysteriously disappears. What? I don't know, dude. It just sounds good. Good. Listen to this. Facing off against this evil sorcerer, he seeks help from a wise professor and a sect of warriors sworn to protect the church. It just sounds good. So this is a Christian book, okay? I for sure want to read this. So yeah, fall TBR, excited. Okay, next book on my TBR is The Bridge of Belle Island, Bridge to Belle Island by Julie Klassen. This was a gift from Bailey, and I for sure want to read it. I want to read all of Julie Klassen's books. Can you believe it? I've never read a Julie Klassen book physically before. I've always read them as ebooks through the library. So I'm like really excited to like get a whole different reading experience by reading it physically. I'm excited. And this is like such a nice book. Oh, if all of her books could feel like this, it's like the matte rubbery, and then it's like kind of the really crisp pages. Excited. So yeah, I know a couple of people I follow, like a couple of my booktube friends have read this a couple months ago, and I think they gave it like average ratings, but I'm still excited to read it. I tend to really like Julie Klassen kind of no matter what she writes, so I think this is gonna be a good one. Okay, and then I want to read The Letter from Briarton Park by Sarah E. Ladd. This is historical fiction, and I haven't really branched out, and I haven't really branched out from Julie Klassen because she's like historical romance, love it. Anytime I do try to branch out, I don't end up liking it. But I just have a good feeling about this book because of the cover and because of what it's about. So this girl was like adopted, I think, and her like last living family member dies, but gives her a letter about her real family, and so she goes to Briarton Park to look up her new family, or her like real family. Yeah. I'm assuming there'll be a romance, you know? So yeah. But I just have good feelings about this, and I bought it, so I better like it. Okay, for real, Leota's Garden. I've been meaning to read this book for a long time. This whole year. I put this on a TBR already this year, and I haven't read it. Because it's a bit bigger, and I think this is historical fiction too, but I might be wrong. And also, like, it's Francine Rivers, dude. I should like it no matter what. So yeah, look at her. She's just like being a little gardener. So cute. So yeah, I don't know. This is like the old cover too. I kind of want the paperback cover that's the same height as like these books, you know? Like this shorter ones. Because this is like large and in charge, you know? Anyway, on the TBR. Okay, next on my fall TBR, this probably isn't very fallish, but it's a book by Denise Hunter. It's Bookshop by the Sea. If you guys know, I broke up with Denise Hunter a couple years ago, but then my sweet friend Amy loved Autumn Skies, is that right? She loved a book, and she said, "O-Sheena, you would love this book. Like, it's right up your alley." And I'm like, but it's Denise Hunter. But I like put the first book called Lake Season on my TBR, and I never got to it. You know, the logical thing is to just pick a different random book, Bookshop by the Sea, and read that instead. But I've heard like pretty good things about it from my friends, and I do want to try Denise Hunter again. I just couldn't. I don't know. Okay, next book. The Librarian of Saint-Malo by Mario Escobar. This book, I am afraid because there's a plane. It looks historical. I think it follows World War something. World War II, 1939. But if fall isn't for historical fiction, what is it for, you know? Now's the time, okay? I have to keep trying historical fiction until I find one that I like. So this is gonna be one that I try. Okay, next, I've been meaning to read from this author. It's Angela Hunt. I own this book, The Canopy. I know typically Angela Hunt writes biblical fiction, but this one I think is either contemporary, I think it's contemporary, and I mean, yeah, I own it, and I'm so intrigued by it because like the cover literally tells you nothing other than you're probably like in a forest for some of it. And like I don't want to read the back too much because I kind of want to go in blind. So yeah, I'm really curious about this one, but it's like a bit bigger than what I'm used to. So I've like been putting it off, but this actually was on my goals list for the year. So I'm kind of trying to sneak those in without meaning to, so that I actually complete my goals. So this is the one. Okay, similarly, Davis Bunn. I want to read this author. I've read some of his like academic articles that he's written for school, but never an actual fiction book. And he's got so many books, and I own a lot of them because I got them from my grandma. And My Soul to Keep just like is the first one I want to try because it has an intriguing dude on the cover, and it like has like kind of bigger font. It's like not as big as some of the other ones that I have from him. So this is the one I want to try. And I just haven't yet. I actually don't know anything about this. I know that it follows 4 characters. It's Christian fiction. Dude. But, okay, here's the like, little tagline. The battle begins. An unlikely group of has-beens armed with only faith and vision against all the money and power Hollywood can wield against them. It's David against Goliath. And Brent is fresh out of stones. Yeah, it follows a character named Brent Stark. So that sounds really good, like something I would like. So, okay, another book, Waterfall. Melanie gifted this to me, and I really want to read it. It's like YA fantasy or sci-fi, and I don't know, I think this is one of her favorite books, and I read the back and it sounds really good. I want to read it. Okay. I think I'm going to play it safe and leave it at that, because that doesn't include the Christmas books. So yeah, reading all of those books in like 2.5 months, don't think that's realistic, but that's okay. So yeah, those are all of the books on my fall TBR. I'm going to just, read whenever I can. I am going to be traveling a little bit this season, so I won't be able to read as much, although maybe I will, but it is a lot of driving, so you know me in audiobooks. But I will give a slight little update. When is this video going up? Next week. It's fine. I probably won't be done it. Lost in Darkness by Michelle Griep. I'm getting used to the audiobook. There are still times where my mind wanders and I've missed everything that they just said, but for the important parts I listen and I'm like, Mostly, I really wish I could read it physically, but the only copy I could get was an audiobook, so I'm trying. Okay guys, that is it. So have a great day. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. A little too loud, dude. And that usually sucks. So why, Dude. But okay, here's the like little tagline. The battle begins. An unlikely, I can't read. Begins the battle. Wait, what? Skip it. I'm gonna break this. You hear that? Okay, I'm gonna turn up the volume so loud and hope that you just heard that donkey. That is the donkey, okay? There's a donkey that lives across the farm, and we can hear him. And it sounds really weird. I didn't really know that's what a donkey sounded like. What's that song that goes like, Hallelujah? With All of Heaven by Red Rocks Church. That you played in the car? Okay. I randomly get songs in my head and I'm like, I don't know what song this is. And I couldn't think of any other words in it for that, so I can't really I'm singing Hallelujah. Right. Thank you. Okay. Wait, what's it called? With All of Heaven. With All of Heaven, Red Rock.